the #1 beach in America, a homegrown Sarasota unicorn, and a property tax plan that could wipe out your home's tax bill. I'll explain what all of those are about and much more in this edition of Local Intel. All right, welcome to Local Intel, the Gulf Coast. I'm your host, Nicholas Rapisardi, broker realtor for simpliHŌM here in Sarasota, Florida. Before I get started, be sure to subscribe so you can find the channel again and be alerted every time these come out. As always, this is a hand-picked curation I put together every month for Local Intel that I enjoy sharing with you. If you've got something better, let me know. And stick around because at the end, I've got a full market update for Sarasota and Manatee County. The numbers just came in. Sales are up across the board, inventory is shrinking, and prices are doing something interesting. We'll get into all that. So let's see what's happening. Let's start with what's opening up around the coast, because June is one of my favorite months for this. Savor Sarasota Restaurant Week is back for its 21st year, running June 1st to the 14th. 2-course lunches for $25, 3-course dinners for $45, and more than 55 restaurants have signed up so far, with more being added every day. That's a lot. Wine pairings, signature cocktails, and lots of chefs going above and beyond this year with premium upgrades and higher-end signature dishes. Good stuff. You know, Savor Sarasota originally started back in 2005 to keep restaurants busy after the snowbirds headed north. 2 decades later, it's become one of the biggest dining events in all of Southwest Florida. So if you're a foodie, this is the 2 weeks to try those places you've been meaning to get to. If you ever get the chance, I highly recommend Cafe Gabbiano. They make really good, authentic Italian food right down in Siesta Key Village. I've never had a bad dinner there. Also, Apollonia Mediterranean Grill at the shops at UTC University Park. And they have another location in Sarasota at the Landings. I'm excited to try the main line. It's a seafood food truck serving up authentic Maine lobster rolls, chowder, Italian sandwiches, and dogs the Maine way. So their menu says. You'll find out what the Maine way is if you try one. Snappy. It's a clue I'll give you. They've been voted best of quite a few times, Finn, from multiple media outlets, so I would be surprised if it was anything short of amazing. I'll let you know. Staying in Sarasota, here's a fun one. Guy Fieri brought his diners, drive-ins, and dives crew to Alpine Steakhouse and Butcher Shop on South Tamiami Trail. They filmed all day with interviews, behind the scenes, the whole thing. If you don't know Alpine Steakhouse, it's a Sarasota institution. The steakhouse and butcher shop is famous for its turducken. Getting featured on a Food Network show like this puts a Sarasota original in front of a national audience. That's awesome for the whole coast. Staying in the food world, Waterside Place in Lakewood Ranch keeps adding to its dining lineup. Daniel Doko and his Umami Hospitality Group, the team behind Corey Steakhouse at Waterside, plus Japan Sushi and Grill and Kuro Sushi, are bringing a new concept to Waterside built around shareable small plates, with skewers like Korean soy garlic beef rib, Thai chicken and pork belly, plus crudos, sushi, sashimi, and nigiri. The idea is you and a guest order 6 different dishes and try a little of everything instead of 1 app and 2 entrees. That's cool. And every new restaurant at Waterside makes the whole Lakewood Ranch lifestyle that much easier to sell, which is good for property values out there. Down on Siesta Key, Bungalow Bagels is now open on Midnight Pass Road. New York-style bagels boiled and baked in-house daily in a 750-square-foot counter spot on the south end of the key. They have 6 schmear flavors, Kona coffee, and signature sandwiches like the Snowbird, with duck egg, prosciutto, Gruyere, and green goodness aioli. And they'll can your cold brew to order so you can walk with it down to Crescent Beach. That's legit. And at UTC, the food story keeps building. Kitchen Social recently opened, the Nashville-born fast casual chain's first Florida location. They offer globally inspired comfort food, including smash burgers, crispy chicken sandwiches, loaded bowls, and craft cocktails. Blue Cuisine opened its second location at UTC with the same authentic Greek menu as their St. Armand Circle location. And Peachy's Baking Company opened a second brick and mortar at UTC. Their sourdough leavened Amish-style donuts are something else. If you ever get the chance, I highly recommend a Peachy's Donut. Yum. Classic. Looking ahead, Olivia and On Swan are also coming to UTC. Both are from Tampa and both are led by James Beard-nominated chef Chris Ponti. Olivia is a modern Italian trattoria with a wine vault and open pasta and pizza stations. On Swan is approachable contemporary American. The fact that 2 of Tampa's best restaurants picked UTC as their expansion markets tells you exactly where the Sarasota-Manatee dining scene is heading. Good stuff. The website links to all those are below this video at the bottom of the description, so you can check them out in your own time. All right, let's get into what's growing, because this is where it gets really exciting for the Gulf Coast. Star Farms at Lakewood Ranch is officially the #1 selling community in Lakewood Ranch based on 2025 new home sales. That's coming straight from 4Star, the developer. And Lakewood Ranch overall is ranked the #1 multi-generational master plan community in the United States for the 8th consecutive year. the 8th year in a row. The numbers don't lie. What's driving Star Farms right now is a new neighborhood called Saddlestone, which is now selling phase 1 with 300 home sites for buyers to choose from. Star Farms' total build-out is around 1,500 homes, villas, and townhomes across about 700 acres, pricing from the high 400s up to the $2 million range. 1- and 2-story floor plans ranging from 1,500 to over 5,000 square feet. And the amenities are unreal. Resort-style pool, poolside cabana, beach area, bar and restaurant, wellness complex with a fitness center and performance center, spa, basketball, beach volleyball, a baseball field, and a splash pad. It's a 1,300-acre village with multi-generational amenities with an on-site lifestyle director. This is the kind of community where it doesn't feel like a subdivision, it feels like a resort. Lake Manatee K-8 is right next to Star Farms, with the middle school expected to open this year. Buyers who used to look exclusively downtown or on the Keys are now looking inland because of what these master plan communities deliver. Quick note, if you're thinking about Star Farms or really any Lakewood Ranch community, the link to book a call with me is right below this video. I help folks buy and sell in these communities all the time. There are nuances to each builder, each section, and each phase that you only learn from helping many people accomplish this. Don't guess, let's talk. Now, zooming out for a second, Lakewood Ranch keeps expanding fast. It's preparing to break ground on Lakewood Ranch Southeast, a roughly 2,200-acre expansion that could add up to 5,000 homes, with construction expected to begin later this year. And the luxury builders are piling in. Toll Brothers is bringing Monterey, the Egret Collection, starting around $1.4 million, and Taylor Morrison just announced Esplanade at Camaret, their third Esplanade community there with 1,200 homes. So if you're in the luxury bracket, Lakewood Ranch has a lot more coming. Crossing the road into Manatee County, Del Webb Explorer at North River Ranch is now selling homes in Parrish. This is the first Del Webb Explorer community in Florida, and the big change here is it's all ages. You don't have to be 55 plus. Pulte Group's market research showed 40% of potential Del Webb buyers wanted the active resort lifestyle without the age requirement. So they responded. 901 homes across 410 acres when fully built. Prices are starting in the mid 300s, going up to over 600,000. This will be a gated community with a resort-style pool and lazy river, a 17,300 square foot clubhouse called the Foundry, a wellness center with infrared saunas and cold plunge, as well as a game room with a golf simulator. That's awesome. I want to live there. You know, with all the folks I've helped buy homes in these Del Webb communities, they always love the amenities and the activities that cater to their active and social lifestyle. None of them were buying because it was 55 plus. In fact, most of them didn't care for it. So I'm not surprised to see Del Webb make this move. But I'll tell you, every time I go there to show buyers what it's all about, it always makes me wish I was over 55. That's really the only thing that makes me want to be older at this point. Now down to Venice, where Neil Land and Neighborhoods is building Vistera of Venice, a 300-acre gated master plan community fitted with a resort-style pool, clubhouse, fitness center, trails, the works. They've got 3 builders in there, Neil Communities, MI Homes, and David Weekly, with single-family homes and paired villas. And here's the thing about Venice right now, it's a buyer-favored market. The median single-family prices come down off its 2023 peak, so buyers have real negotiating leverage there, more than they've had in years. Good stuff if you're a buyer. Now let's talk downtown. Sarasota Bay Park just crossed 1.15 million visits since it opened in the fall of 2022. For a city of about 58,000 people, that's an extraordinary number, and it's not even half finished. Phase 2 is underway right now, a $65 million build with a new town square, a resilient shoreline, and a canal district with day docks, so you can get to the park by boat. Phase 3 was just approved, running through 2030, and it includes a brand new Sarasota Performing Arts Center. I'll talk more about that in an upcoming episode. I'm excited for that one. The Bay is turning Sarasota's downtown bayfront into one of the best public spaces in the Southeast, and every condo and home near that park is sitting on rising values because of it. Here's the value play here. Amenities like this don't just make a city nicer. They move property values in a positive direction. Over in Bradenton, downtown is getting a transformation as well. The city is selling its old City Hall site to a developer who plans to connect Barcarata Boulevard to the Riverwalk, bring downtown restaurants to the waterfront, and add more residential downtown. Mayor Gene Brown said he wants a downtown that's vibrant and for all ages. I think it's about time. Downtown Bradenton has had a cool vibe for years, and this could really wake it up. There's a lot of potential just waiting. And on the commercial side, Sarasota Square has already pre-leased 88% of its Phase 2 retail space, with fashion brands, restaurants, and boutique fitness operators set to open by end of 2028. Commercial demand on the coast is real. Lots of cool stuff. Now let's get into the Silicon Coast Watch because we have a huge one this month. 10x.ai, a Sarasota-based AI cybersecurity company, just raised $250 million in Series B funding, pushing its valuation past $1 billion. That makes this a unicorn, a homegrown Sarasota unicorn. Let me say that again. We have a unicorn here on the Gulf Coast. This is a privately owned startup company with a valuation of over $1 billion. 10x is building its world headquarters at 2407 Bee Ridge Road, which is just a 4-minute drive from where I'm filming this. The funding round was led by Crosspoint Capital Partners with participation from Anderson Horowitz, Shield Capital, and Deepwork Capital. Anderson Horowitz, A16Z. That's a top 5 venture firm in the world. That's not local money. That's Silicon Valley money flowing into Sarasota. So what do they actually do? 10x is an AI-native, human-led cybersecurity company that provides managed detection and response services, MDR. Their platform reviews 100% of customer alert telemetry in under a minute, eliminates about 98% of false positives, and routes the real threats to human analysts. CEO Eric Foster has said the goal is to grow from around 100 employees today to 300 by the end of the year. This Series B will fund 250 plus new hires and then an expansion into Europe and the Middle East. This is a generational moment for Sarasota's tech identity. A homegrown company hits unicorn status, hires 250 high-paying jobs, brings A16Z money into the region, and builds a headquarters building. That's the kind of anchor that draws other tech companies. The Silicon Coast brand isn't aspirational anymore. It's happening. And Printees, a Quebec-based custom apparel company, just picked Lakewood Ranch for its first U.S. headquarters and manufacturing hub. 34,020 square feet at Gates Creek Corporate Center on Gatewood Drive in a newly completed industrial building. They do direct-to-garment printing, direct-to-film, and embroidery. CEO Sean Scorapad said they picked Lakewood Ranch because of the transportation infrastructure, the growing workforce, and the proximity to major shipping corridors across the Southeast. He literally called it a booming, business-friendly economic hub. That's a Canadian CEO saying that about Lakewood Ranch. The Gulf Coast is on the map. What's coming up? Lots of stuff happening on the Gulf Coast in June. Let's roll through it. We already mentioned Savor Sarasota June 1st through the 14th. Pair that with Sarasota Music Festival, also June 1st through the 13th, with the Sarasota Orchestra putting this on every year. Thursday afternoon artist showcase concerts, Festival Friday chamber concerts, and Festival Saturday orchestra concerts. Nearly 500 fellows from top music programs around the world audition to participate, but only 60 are accepted. That's pretty elite. If you've never been, it's a real cultural movement in Sarasota. Lav is performing in Bradenton on June 4th. Big pop name. The 24th annual St. Armand's Circle Craft Festival is June 6th and 7th. Always a good one. World Ocean Day at North Jetty Park on June 6th, hosted by Sarasota County. This is a great family event. The U.S. Rowing Youth National Championship is coming to Sarasota June 11th through the 14th at Nathan Benderson Park, a national caliber sporting event drawing athletes and families from across the country. That's a big tourism boost right there. Candlelight, Mozart versus Beethoven at St. Boniface Episcopal Church on June 13th. Coldplay and Imagine Dragons on Candlelight Strings also on June 13th at the same venue. That's good for a date night. Hard to beat that. The Manatee Juneteenth Community Festival is June 20th at the 13th Avenue Dream Center in Bradenton. The Downtown Venice Craft Festival is June 20th and the 21st. And Ranch Night Wednesdays at Waterside Place continues through June 21st and beyond. Live music, food trucks, and kid-friendly. This is a great weeknight option for families. Bring the dog. They'll love it. And out on the islands, a couple of quick ones. The Anna Maria Island City Pier rebuild is moving along, now reaching the decking stage. After what the hurricanes did out there, seeing that pier come back is a big deal for the island. And the sea turtle nesting season just kicked off too. The first nest of the year was recorded on Anna Maria. The season runs through October, so if you're walking the beaches, give the nest some room and keep your lights down at night. All right, one last segment before we get into the numbers. Here's what some of the bigger picture items are telling us about the Gulf Coast. The biggest one. Governor Ron DeSantis just called a special session on property taxes. He's proposing a plan called Save Our Homes from Excessive Property Taxes. The starting point would raise the homestead exemption from $50,000 all the way up to $250,000. By his numbers, that would wipe out property taxes entirely for about 60% of homesteaded Florida homeowners. And if it eventually moves up to a $500,000 exemption, that's about 92% of homesteaded homeowners paying zero property tax. Now, here's where it all stands. This still has to get through the legislature in special session, and then go through the November ballot as a constitutional amendment, where it needs at least 60% of voters to pass. One thing to know if you're relocating here, The plan would require anyone who establishes Florida residency after January 1st, 2027 to hold that residency for up to 5 years before getting that bigger exemption. So what does this mean for the Gulf Coast? Property taxes are one of the biggest carrying costs on a home, right up there with insurance. If even part of this passes, it changes the math on owning here in a big way. This is a developing story, so I'll keep you posted as the special session plays out. Either way, it's worth watching closely if you own here or you're buying on the Gulf Coast. Tourism was up 1.7% year over year in the latest report, the first uptick after a stretch of monthly declines. Visit Sarasota County CEO Aaron Duggan is forecasting a flat 2026, which she actually considers a win after the post-pandemic spikes. Spending has held steady at over $2.3 billion, hotels are filling, and spring break was strong. That's a green flag for the market. And here's part of why people keep coming. Siesta Beach was just named #1 beach in America for 2026 by U.S. News & World Report. And Anna Maria Island came in at #3. So Florida's Gulf Coast has 2 of the top 3 beaches in the entire country, both right here in our backyard. That's not just bragging rights. When you own a home a few miles from the #1 beach in America, that's a permanent tailwind under your property value. People will always want to be near this. And there's a conversation happening locally about luxury real estate worth flagging. A recent Your Observer article asked, has Lakewood Ranch become the playground for the rich? They compared $1 million plus residential transactions in East County across a 3-week May window in 2026 versus 2021 versus 2016. And the numbers are way up. David Crawford, the president of our local association, weighed in and said, you can't paint the region with one broad brush. And he's right. The luxury story is real, but it's not the whole story. Let's get into exactly what the whole story looks like right now. The latest market report just dropped, and there's a lot to unpack. The numbers from the Realtor Association of Sarasota-Manatee are in, and here's the headline. Sales activity strengthened across the board. Inventory tightened across all 4 major segments, but prices stayed mostly steady. So what does that all mean? More buyers, less to choose from, and prices haven't responded yet. That's a market that's gaining activity while still offering buyers room to negotiate. As our local association president David Crawford has been saying, today's buyers are taking a more calculated approach to their purchasing decisions. Less emotion with a more data-driven mindset. The calculated shift continues. Let me walk you through 4 trends defining our market right now. Trend 1, sales activity strengthened. Closed sales increased across all 4 major segments, and pending sales rose year over year. So both deals that closed and deals in the pipeline are up. That points to continued buyer demand across Sarasota and Manatee, both single-family and condo townhome. Closed sales increased across all 4 major segments, and pending sales rose year over year. So both closed deals and deals in the pipeline are up. That points to continued buyer demand across Sarasota and Manatee, both single-family and condo townhome. In Sarasota County, single-family closings hit 824 for the month, up 0.9% year over year. New pending sales jumped 17%. That's a big number going into the summer. In Manatee County, single-family closings hit 704, up 4.8%. New pendings up 4.6%. And in the condo and townhome market, Sarasota County closings jumped 18.7%, with 445 closings. And new pending sales surged 35.1%. That's the biggest year-over-year gain in any segment this month. Huge. Manatee condo and townhome closings were up 12.5% with 307 closings, and new pendings up 14.6%. The numbers don't lie. People are buying again. I'm in production and I help folks buy and sell all the time. I'm seeing exactly what I just reported. The phones are ringing, showings are happening, and offers are getting accepted. Trend 2, inventory tightened. Now here's where it gets interesting. Active listings declined across all 4 property segments. That reverses the trend of inventory growth we've seen over the past year. Sarasota single-family inventory dropped 32.9% to 3,258 active homes, a 4.7 month of supply. Manatee single-family inventory dropped 11.5% to 2,929 listings, a 4.6 month of supply. Sarasota condo and townhome inventory dropped 19.8% to 2,300 units, a 7.7 months of supply. Manatee condo and townhome inventory dropped 15.9% to 1,582 units, a 6.9 month supply. So what does that mean? 2 things are happening at once. Buyers are buying faster and fewer new listings are coming on. The combination tightens supply. Trend 3, prices stayed steady. You'd expect rising demand plus shrinking inventory to push prices up, but prices stayed steady. The Sarasota single-family median sale price rose 4.3% to $490,000. Manatee single-family rose 6.1% to $492,500. Almost identical. Sarasota condo and townhome median was nearly flat, slipping 0.6% to $337,500. Manatee condo and townhome median rose 6.6% to $320,000. Why aren't prices reacting more? Prices respond slower than sales activity. They lag. So the question isn't whether prices are steady today. The question is what happens in the next 2 to 3 months if inventory keeps shrinking. Buyers still have leverage in the room right now. Sarasota sellers received a median of 94.3% of original list. Manatee sellers received a median of 94.6%. That's still negotiating room. Here's the kicker. If you're a buyer, that negotiating room may not last. If you're a seller, that pricing patience may not be there forever either. The market's gaining tension, and tensions don't stay quiet. Trend 4, luxury market stayed strong. This was the biggest sub-story of this report. Single-family sales in the 1 million plus category increased in both Sarasota and Manatee counties. That's why average sale prices climbed even when median prices stayed close to even. The Sarasota single-family average sale price climbed 24.6% to $814,685. That's a huge jump, 24.6%. Cash buyers were 43.9% of Sarasota single-family transactions. With Sarasota condo and townhomes, cash was 70.1%. Cash is king. Here's the value play here. This connects right back to that Your Observer piece I mentioned earlier. The luxury market is real. The wealth migration is real. And the 1 million plus segment is leading the average sale price up. So what's the local intel takeaway? If you're a buyer, you still have negotiating room, but that room is closing. The median percent of list price is still in the low to mid 90s, which is still healthy for negotiation. Days on market are around 44 to 46 for single family homes. So you have time to make a thoughtful offer. But if inventory keeps shrinking the way it has been, that window narrows. Don't sit and wait for prices to drop. The data is going in the other direction. If you're a seller, pricing strategy matters more than ever right now. The market is active, but buyers still have leverage. Overpricing means sitting. Smart pricing means moving. The 94% range tells you that buyers are still expecting a bit of negotiation. Build that into your strategy. Activity is strong at 1 million plus. Cash is dominant, and inventory in higher tiers behave differently than the broader market. You'll need an agent that understands both. We can't fake sales. The sales are real. They're recorded in the county and the numbers don't lie. I'm in production every single day, and what I just reported is exactly what I'm seeing. So here's the bottom line. This is a market where being calculated matters. Buyers, sellers, and especially anyone in the luxury bracket. Don't make your next move a guess. Make your next move a calculated one. If you'd like to know more about your community or one that interests you, reach out to me by clicking the link below to book a call. Let's look at the data together and make your next move a calculated one. Whether you're buying or selling in Sarasota, Bradenton, or Lakewood Ranch, anywhere from Welland Park up to Parrish, that's what I do. No pressure, just clarity. I hope you got value out of this episode. If you did, hit that like button and subscribe so you get these every month. And share it with somebody who's thinking about a move. That helps the channel a lot, and it helps me keep making these for you. That's your local intel for the Gulf Coast. I'm your host, Nicholas Rapisardi. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.